At first glance, Las Meninas appears to be nothing more than a courtly portrait, a young infanta surrounded by her entourage, a painter at work, and a spacious room lit by the soft glow of the Alcázar. Yet only a few seconds of observation reveal something unsettling, almost eerie. The scene seems to watch you. It draws you in. It makes you part of the painting without your consent or even your awareness. That sensation, quiet, immediate, and disconcerting, is the first clue that Las Meninas is not merely a painting, it is a visual and philosophical puzzle without precedent, a work that has perplexed historians, scientists, artists, and philosophers for centuries. Diego Velázquez did not simply portray a moment at court. He constructed a labyrinth of symbols, crossed gazes, chronological riddles, hidden messages, and profound reflections on art, perception, and power. In this three-part analysis, we will unravel each of these layers: the historical context that shaped the work, the secrets hidden within its smallest details, and the ways in which Velázquez shattered the boundaries between viewer and representation centuries before such ideas existed in modern art. Prepare yourself. Las Meninas is not a painting you look at, it is a painting that looks back at you. To understand the magnitude of Las Meninas, we must step into Madrid in 1656, during the final years of King Philip IV's reign. Spain, weakened by endless wars and a crumbling economy, was no longer the proud empire that had dominated Europe. The monarchy struggled to maintain its dignity as a subtle atmosphere of decline seeped through the corridors of the palace. In this complex environment stood Velázquez, not merely as the royal painter, but as a trusted advisor, a discreet intellectual, and a privileged witness to a world slowly collapsing beneath its ceremonial splendor. The work we know today as Las Meninas, originally titled The Family of Philip IV, emerged from that tension between appearance and reality. At the center of the scene stands the young Infanta Margarita Teresa, 5 years old, enveloped in a voluminous silver silk garb infanta that captures the natural light with an almost tangible perfection. The fabrics, satins, damasks, velvets embroidered with gold become, under Velázquez's brush, living matter. Her entourage gathers around her like a small human constellation. Maria Agustina Sarmiento leaning forward with a tray, Isabel de Velasco poised with elegance, Nicolasito Pertusato nudging the mastiff, the dwarf Mari Barbola observing with solemnity, and in the background, shadowy figures emerging from the palace gloom. Yet beneath this seemingly ordinary courtly scene lies an architectural enigma, a composition crafted so precisely that nothing is what it initially appears to be. The Infanta seems to be the luminous center of the painting, yet Velázquez subtly leads us to suspect that she is not its true axis. Every gaze, gesture, and ray of light is carefully arranged to guide us toward a deeper mystery. The essential truth of this first chapter is clear. Las Meninas is a portrait, but it is also a visual instrument designed to challenge the spectator, and we have only begun to open its doors. Now we enter the heart of the mystery, those seemingly insignificant details that hide astonishing revelations. Focus first on Velázquez's chest. The painter depicts himself standing before a massive canvas, brush in hand, with the quiet monumentality of a man who is not just painting, but thinking, and on his chest shines the red cross of the Order of Santiago. Here begins the first chronological riddle. The painting was completed in 1656, yet Velázquez was not admitted to the Order of Santiago until 1659, 3 years later. How can the cross already be there? The most widely accepted theory is deeply poignant. The cross was added later, perhaps at the command, or even by the hand of Philip IV himself, as a final tribute to the artist after his death in 1660. Palomino, Velázquez's earliest biographer, recorded the rumor plainly. They say His Majesty painted it himself. If true, the painting becomes not only an artistic feat, but a testament to the friendship and respect that tied king and painter together. But this is only the beginning. After Velázquez's death, more than 100 scientific books were discovered in his chambers. Mathematics, geometry, optics, architecture, astronomy, even astrology. He owned 5 telescopes and often climbed the Alcázar tower at night to observe the stars. With this in mind, Jacques Lassaine's 1973 theory takes on new meaning. If the hearts of 5 key figures, Velázquez, Maria Agustina, the Infanta, Isabel de Velasco, and José Nieto, are connected with imaginary lines, the resulting shape mirrors the constellation Corona Borealis. The brightest star in that constellation is named Margarita Corona, the exact name of the Infanta. Coincidence? Hardly, when dealing with Velázquez. Soon after, engineer Ángel del Campo y Francés identified yet another constellation in the painting, Capricorn, the zodiac sign of Queen Mariana of Austria, traced by linking the heads of all the characters, including the dog. Some astronomical analyses even suggest the scene might correspond to 5 p.m. on December 23, 1656, the Queen's birthday. Just when the mysteries seem overwhelming, a small red object intensifies the enigma, the bucaro, Resting on Maria Agustina's silver tray, the tiny clay vessel appears harmless, yet it hides a disturbing truth. In the Spanish Golden Age, many noble women practiced buccarophagy, consuming pieces of these fragrant clay cups after drinking from them. They sought an extreme paleness considered beautiful, attempted to regulate menstruation, and unknowingly ingested narcotic and mildly hallucinogenic substances that caused real addiction. According to some modern medical studies, the young Infanta, only 5 years old, may have suffered from precocious puberty, treated with these dangerous methods. Her spectral pallor, long thought to be simply Velázquez's stylistic choice, might instead be an honest record of her deteriorating health. This unsettling possibility may explain why the painting remained for so long in private areas of the palace. It revealed an intimacy the royal family preferred to conceal. In this final chapter, we reach the philosophical core of Las Meninas. Look toward the distant wall. 4 paintings hang in the dim light, copies by Martínez del Mazo after works by Rubens and Jordi Miles, based on Ovid's Metamorphoses. The 2 clearest represent Minerva punishing Arachne and Apollo defeating Pan, divine figures competing with mortals in artistic skill. Velázquez positioned these scenes deliberately. They are allegories proclaiming that painting is not a mechanical craft but an intellectual art, worthy of the highest respect. In the 17th century, Spanish painters fought to be recognized as liberal artists rather than artisans, who were treated with lower social status. Velázquez reinforces this argument with his self-portrait. He does not depict himself frenetically painting, but thinking, the brush suspended mid-air, like a philosopher of color and form. And then comes the mirror, one of the most discussed elements in art history. In its dim reflection appear King Philip IV and Queen Mariana of Austria. The questions multiply. Are they posing before the painter? Does the mirror reflect the painting Velázquez is working on within the painting? Or are the monarchs entering the room at that precise moment? Whatever the truth, Velázquez accomplishes something astonishing. He places the viewer in the exact position of the king and queen. You stand where they would stand. The painting watches you as much as you watch it. This effect intensifies through the choreography of gazes. Velázquez looks directly outward. The Infanta gazes toward the spectator with delicate surprise. Isabel de Velasco seems to be assessing us. Mari Barbara watches with stern vigilance. José Nieto, paused in the luminous doorway, stares toward the foreground as if we were intruding on the scene. Even the distracted gestures of the other figures contribute to a web of invisible tension that draws our eye from one character to another. Velázquez does not simply break the fourth wall, he dissolves it entirely. Technically, the painting is a masterpiece centuries ahead of its time. Up close, the brushstrokes seem loose, swift, almost abstract, but as you step back, the entire scene coalesces into miraculous realism. 3 independent sources of light, lateral, background, and the subtle reflection in the mirror, create a 3-dimensional space that feels breathable. Aerial perspective, gradually fading contours, and the infinite depth of the open doorway all contribute to the most powerful illusion of reality ever achieved in Western painting. For this reason, Luca Giordano called Las Meninas the theology of painting, and he was not exaggerating. The work is an infinite mirror that returns our own image transformed. A meditation on art, power, vision, and time. A masterpiece that grows with each viewer, revealing new mysteries to every generation. And perhaps that is Velázquez's greatest triumph, crafting a painting that never ages because it is never fully understood. So the next time you stand before Las Meninas, remember this: you are not just a spectator, you are part of the painting. Your gaze completes the circle Velázquez drew more than 3 centuries ago with the precision of an astronomer and the imagination of a true visionary.